Alright guys, what's going on this early Sunday evening, y'all? This is the Club of Demand 1993, and we are live for my live review of this past week's episode of AEW Dynamite. May the 4th be with you, as it took place on this past Wednesday, May the 4th, Star Wars Day, which, not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I'll always acknowledge it because I like saying, may the 4th be with you. It's good to see you all here. But yes, this week's show took place on this past Wednesday in Baltimore, Maryland. We had the final of the Owen Hart Tournament qualifying matches. So the brackets are set. We'll talk about those very briefly as well. We did have a former WWE superstar, well, technically two, but one was only in NXT. One make a well, it was pretty obvious last week from the hype, but make a surprise appearance on this show. I'm sure it was probably a one-off for now, maybe, who knows, because you can't teach that. And also, someone that holds a very special place in my heart also appeared on this show, and sadly lost. And of course, I just got told by my friend that I could have met her last night if I would have gone with him down to Kentucky for the Impact pay-per-view. But we'll talk about that, of course, at the end. But overall, this week's episode of Dynamite, it was solid, decent to solid, I would say. Wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the most standout, must-see show we've definitely seen. Definitely one of the weaker episodes of Dynamite. Still good, but it wasn't as, fire feeling as, some of these recent episodes of Dynamite we've seen. But it was still good. We are, of course, just a few weeks away from Double or Nothing. I know tonight is WrestleMania Backlash, which I'll address what I'm going to do for that at the end, because I'm end up being on my own tonight for Backlash. Which I will watch, even though it is going to be a very skippable show, but we'll talk about that briefly at the end. I do have one more video also I'm going to try to record and upload before the pay-per-view. But yeah, so let's get into this episode of Dynamite. Then, of course, I will address that this coming week is going to be pretty busy for me. It pretty much is. And after this coming week, some things could be changing. I mean, the channel's not going anywhere, but my life is really going to change after this coming week. I can't say now, but I will say, of course, the following week. So, of course, let's just, as always, check the live chat first. Let's see, we got a little bit of an active audience so far. What's up? We've got Tyler giving the show a C-. We've got Mark as well. How you guys doing? Doing pretty good. He can't wait for Wednesday. We're going to have a dream match between two Daredevils. He's worried the AFO is going to get involved. Yes, definitely. One of the matches for sure happening for the Owen Hart Tournament is going to be happening Wednesday. It's advertised. I can't remember which ones are advertised. But one of them is definitely a dream match. I definitely agree. Would be nice to say for pay-per-view, but I trust AEW to at least give me a good quality match on TV that's meant to be pretty darn good. Between two Daredevils, that is for sure. And, of course, before we go any further, let me just pull up Owen Hart Cup bracket. Where is those brackets? Okay, I see one, but I can't find the other one. Well, we'll worry about it a little. Okay, there it is. Alright, there we go. Okay, anyways, let's just roll in and talk about Dynamite, because again, I do have another brief video I want to record also. But definitely, Mark and Tyler, thank you for joining me live. Hopefully you guys do join me later. I am planning on doing a couple of live reactions during tonight's pay-per-view, which I'll be watching from my basement. But let's talk about this week's episode. I'm going to fly through it. Like I said, solid, not the strongest show, but it wasn't like completely horrible either. It just Not too many things really stood out. For example, we started off with an Owen Hart Foundation qualifying match, one of the two final qualifying matches we had on this show. Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Fish. Alright match. Again, I don't know. I still never really see Bobby Fish as like a single star. I mean, the way that he did kind of show a little bit when he first came into AEW. But I feel like that was just momentum that was being set up for him to be reunited with Adam Cole and eventually Kyle O'Reilly. So it's like, okay, stuff to say, okay, I can take him seriously here. As a single star, though, still not sure I see it in him. I definitely, more so Kyle O'Reilly, who did have singles potential. I feel like they didn't book him to his fullest when he was a single star in NXT. But again, I still just don't really see Bobby Fish being like much of a single star. But him and Jeff, had a decent match, and of course, Jeff Hardy does win, of course, with the Swanton Bomb, and he will Jeff Hardy will be the first match in the Owen Hart. Actually, let me just save these real quick. Hang on. Save this one. And save this one. Alright. So I got them saved on my phone. So that way we can go over the brackets after we do the second qualifying match as well. I'll wait to see what that Daredevil match is. But afterwards, you have the Young Bucks come out to the ring and square up with the Hardy Boys and jaw at each other. So I guess that's some sort of a tease of maybe at the pay-per-view we could see maybe the Hardy Boys and the Young Bucks. Tell you what, outside of FTR versus the Young Bucks, which we've already seen twice, and I gotta say, their second match on live TV recently was definitely, I thought was better than their pay-per-view match. Their pay-per-view match they had was great. I just like that their second match a lot better. But I'd say if there's anyone I'd love to see wrestle the Young Bucks next, it would have to be the Hardy Boys. That would be good. If they want to make that TLC also, go for it. That would be a killer of a TLC match if they would do that. But I definitely like that. And then we have a narrated Blackpool Combat Club video package narrated by yours truly, William Regal. And they took on the tag team of The Butcher and The Blade and Angelico. And, another solid match again just to put over the Blackpool Combat Club, who do get the win with a triangle choke from Bryan Danielson on Angelico for the submission. And I am hearing, in fact, rumors, I read it somewhere today, that AEW is looking to bring in Trios tag titles. But they're not going to do a tournament for them. Here's a rumor I heard. I heard they're not planning on doing a tournament, but they're going to wait until Kenny Omega comes back. So meaning, once he comes back, it'll probably be like the division of the House of Black, Death Triangle, Blackpool Combat Club, The Elite with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and Dark Order, who Stu Grayson got let go of this week. He didn't resign. And of course, Undisputed Elites with Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. If Christian Cage doesn't turn heel, Jurassic Express with Christian Cage in them, there's like 6 or 7 teams right there to make that division. Which would work, because they're all very solid, of course. So I like that, of course. But like I said, apparently they're waiting until Kenny comes back. If the rumor is true. Which works for me. So I look forward to definitely seeing what they do with those when they come back. Let me see here. We also have, speaking of which, we have a backstage segment where Jurassic Express confronts Team Taz, who I believe Team Taz's Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs are going to be the next ones to challenge for the tag titles. Probably, I think, just on an episode. I don't think it's happening at Double or Nothing. I think it's just happening on an episode of Dynamite. So, fine. That's good. And again, they're still teasing that Christian Cage heel turn, as he's definitely seemed to lose faith in Jungle Boy. Unless they, of course, do like Jungle Boy and Christian Cage at Double or Nothing, maybe. But Jungle Boy, though, says, a match feels like fun, but he wants Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks seems spicy, so why not spice it up? And next week, he's going to challenge... Jungle Boy's challenging Ricky Starks for the FTW title. Cool by me. That'll be interesting for sure. We also get informed up that next, of course, is going to be a Wardlow versus the mystery opponent that MJF hyped up by saying he's 7 feet tall and you can't teach that, which is very obvious. But before we get to that, we do have a segment with Keith Lee and Shane Strickland, which, by the way, Shane Strickland last week, it was Wednesday, it was revealed, it was uploaded, but he did a recent interview with Talk is Jericho. Definitely recommend checking it out. It was a good interview with Swerve and Y2J. But Swerve and Keith Lee says that they have unfinished business with Starks and Hobbs, and then Lee unloads a thesaurus on them. So I guess they're gonna, for now, keep them as a team, maybe? I don't know, we'll see. I'm cool with it. Swerve, I forgot what they're calling it. Swerve in Glory or something like that they're calling themselves, which, cool. Just to give them something to do as they both, kind of work their way up the card for sure. Totally fine with that. Then we got MJF coming out, getting ready for Wardlow versus his mystery opponent. And I believe Wardlow was already out in the ring. And MJF says he'd love to say it's great to be back here in Maryland, but then he'd be a lying piece of shit. Speaking of, hey everybody, it's Wardlow. He's going to go watch the match in the back, but he should be terrified of the man about to come through the curtain. 7 feet of sheer, unadulterated power, who's never taken an L in his life. That's unfortunately false, he has. And that, of course, is Big W, William Morrissey. Yep. Well, he was introduced as William Morrissey, but Impact, he's just W. Morrissey. Or, of course, as we all know, as Big Ass. Or, well, Big Cass, but Big Ass, Mr. He walked, well, except this time he made his way down to the ring with his arm up high, but looking like more intimidating, not like some cheesy, grin or whatnot that all heels had in WWE. But yes, Big Cass, of course, as we expected, W. Morrissey, William Morrissey, whatever you want to call him now, was indeed the mystery opponent. And yes, he did tower over Wardlow. But the match was good. Morrissey looked good. Again, I'm glad to see he's doing well. Because, of course, he did go through some anxiety and such after his release. He did go to rehab, but, the only other time I've seen Morrissey since he left was last year when I did watch Impact Rebellion with my friend Joe. I watched the pay-per-view where Kenny Omega took on Rich Swann for a title versus title match. I did see that, and that's where Morrissey made his Impact Wrestling debut. And he looked great. I think he looks good now. I'm glad to hear he's doing good. There was chance during the match of we want Enzo. No, we don't. I gotta still be honest with you guys. I loved Enzo and Cass during their run in NXT. The problem is ever since they've been single stars or when Enzo got released, I know he was proven innocent. It's not that. But it is obvious. I've heard interviews gotten to Enzo more. Enzo is just a guy who's just very full of his ego, and he definitely, I think he likes to get the trends going. That's how you succeed in the business. I get that. I just don't agree with what he does, like how he crashed Survivor Series and a bunch of other stuff. To me, it's just like I just don't. If that's how he wants to do business for himself, that's his life. I just don't completely agree with it. So I do I've lost some respect for Enzo over the years. I don't know though. Maybe it'll be one of those things where it's like, I need to see them back together to have that feel, to want to see, Morrissey and Enzo, who literally spells his, I think he would literally spell his name Nzo, which would be pronounced Enzo, which, would not kill anything. But, it was like, I was kind of more so on the, no we don't side, I'll be honest. But like I said, if he would come back and, him and Morrissey could hit it off like they used to, I may be open to giving it a shot. But, like, right now when he's not in the picture, I'm just like, Like I said, I don't know. Just something about Enzo, Eric Arndt, with some of these interviews and how, again, he goes into business for himself. To me, it's like, I just don't completely agree with his tactics, is what I'm trying to say. But as far as the match goes, it was good. I am intrigued in seeing how Wardlow is seeming to start showing off some little bit of, like, high-flying maneuvers. Like, I think he did, like, a freaking moonsault, I think, as well, on Morrissey, too, which was pretty awesome. Gave me some, like, Dominic Dijakovic vibes. Miss him. I hate the fact he's T-barred out. He's someone else I'm surprised has not been released yet. But there are some more releases supposed to be coming to WWE. Maybe he'll go next. Which, if he does, good. Bring him to AEW. Have him go one-on-one with Keith Lee again. Also, have him go one-on-one with Wardlow. Because like I said, Wardlow is starting to show me a little bit more than I thought he was going to do. He does win with one power bomb. Apparently, they have him only do one power bomb because they didn't want to make Morrissey look too weak, which I do agree. Morrissey's looking good, so I don't want to make him look too bad. But afterwards, though, Wardlow destroyed security as they arrived, trying to put him back in the cuffs. And then MJF even sent a second wave, but he took them out too. Finally, Wardlow gets on the mic and says he won't stop and he'll beat everyone MJF throws against him, no matter how big and strong, until MJF gives him a match. And MJF says, how would you like it if I gave you a match where if you win, you got out of your contract? And he says, fine. But he's got a couple of conditions. He will not reveal them tonight, though. He will reveal them in a contract signing that'll be next week in the most magical place in the world. Long Island, New York, which I'm like, ooh. Why does that interest me? Like one of my favorite moments of the show. Why does it interest me? Because last time we went to Long Island was back when Punk was feuding with MJF. And MJF was treated like a hometown hero. I'm very interested to see how this contract signing goes with Wardlow and MJF in MJF's hometown. That's going to be must-see this coming week on Wednesday. Which I am going to try to watch live on Wednesday, but I'll explain that at the end. But that's going to be awesome. I am interested to see how the crowd reacts to that for sure. And what, of course, these conditions are going to be for Wardlow facing MJF. Probably, of course, at Double or Nothing, so we'll see. We also have an interview backstage with Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Ruby Soho, and Tony Storm. They figure back and forth, and Ruby says they're counting down to the minutes until 5:30 on Friday when they get to fight, which they did have a tag match on Rampage, which I can't remember reasons why, but Rampage started at 5:30 this past Friday. Apparently this tag match, though, was pretty good, but I didn't get to see it. Then we had this interview with Hangman Adam Page, who said he could talk about how much he respects CM Punk, and so on, but he's not going to. This is going to be no Bret Hart tribute match. He's going to destroy Punk. And people will be going back to the match, stand to get refunds on their Punk gear. He hates to be the bearer of bad news, but as champion, he's responsible for telling us. He's responsible for telling us that our beloved CM Punk isn't here tonight. Because he's off filming some TV show. He wanted a fight. He's got one. And it'll be the fight of his life. Show a bit like a heelish side there, which I don't know if that's Hangman going heel, just so there is a heel in the match, or if this is just a way how they're both either that or they'll probably both cut promos and show heelish sides of both of them, but probably just to show that hey, they're just two guys being them. There's no true heels in this match. They're both fan favorites. But they both obviously are trying to create some sort of beef with each other to, help you decide who you want to choose for it in that match. I will be watching that show with Joe, and we will be doing live reactions to that match for sure at Double or Nothing, because that is going to be big. I still don't know who I'm going to pick to win that match. That's such an unpredictable pick. We got Konsuke Takashita going to be debuting on TV soon. We have Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh cut a promo backstage about Samoa Joe. And then Dutt complains about the lack of red carpet for any of them and so on. Which, of course, they're still feuding with Samoa Joe for what it looks like. Chris Jericho then beat Santana with a Judas effect. That was a decent match. Afterwards, the Jericho Appreciation Society jumped Santana, Ortiz, and beat them down. No Eddie Kingston tonight, though, as he did was recover from that fireball he took last week. I heard, though, he gave Jericho a very threatening call, though, on Rampage this past week. Gotta check out and see what that was about, for sure. I tell you what, though, Rampage to me lately has been a little bit more, not gonna say must see, but I've definitely been a little more intrigued with watching Rampage and seeing what happens on it lately. It's definitely become more than just another, a weekly, televised version of Dark or Dark Elevation. I just wish, of course, a lot of people say it was live consistently. And earlier in the day, too. But we'll see, of course, But, yeah, I'll have to check that out. We have a promo from the Ass Boys, presents for the Acclaimed. They open them to reveal scissors, and they'll all hoot and holler. Then we had this segment with Brian Pillman Jr. in the ring with Griff Garrison and Julia Hart, who still has that eye patch when she got sprayed with black mist from Malachi Black. Pillman admits he's been chastised because for all the long months and feuds with the House of Black, seeing everything he's worked for get torn apart. He shouts out a friend of his late former father's, John Harbaugh, who was in the crowd, and says he attacks each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. He talks about the House of Black, trying to drive them apart, but today is a new day, and he's really goddamn enthusiastic about keeping their group together, and he calls them out for a match right now. Out come the House of Black, who surround them and the Varsity Blondes and attacks them. They lawn dart Brian into Griff, and Brody King cannonballs them. And then, this is an interesting part here. Malachi Black corners Julia Hart. Now, a lot of people have been predicting that Julia Hart will turn on the House of Black. Will turn on the Varsity Blondes to have a female member of the House of Black. I think it is a good idea. Malachi then corners Julia Hart and stares her down. She trembles, walks past him, and then Buddy Matthews gives her a chair. And then Julia holds the chair high, and they're basically telling her to whack Griff Garrison with it, but she doesn't do it. So Black rips her eye patch off and shoves her down, and she has a meltdown and sobs as Death Triangle comes out and makes a save. Nice tease there. They're teasing the heel turn. But will she pull through with it? Or could somebody else maybe come through and be in the House of Black? For a female. I don't know who that would be. Let's go with, Abaddon, maybe, or someone else who will look like a creepy vibe to them, but we'll see. We'll see, baby. Who knows? Smart Mark Sterling is backstage with Jay Cargill and her baddies. They talk about how they're going to dominate the Owen Hart tournament. Wait, are they in the Owen Hart tournament? Oh yeah, Red Velvet is. Never mind. Yeah, just Red Velvet. Speaking of which, then we have Dante Martin versus Ray Phoenix in the final Owen Hart qualifying match. Another good match, of course, as well. These two are definitely, very underrated for sure. Well, Ray Phoenix is a star. Dante Martin is the underrated, upcoming star as well. Again, he's kind of on the singles run again. I think Darius Martin got hurt again, which sucks for sure for Top Flight. Ray Phoenix do win with the Fire Thunder Driver. So let's really quick here go over the brackets. So I believe next week we are going to get... Well, let's talk about the women's bracket first. In the first round, we have Tony Storm taking on Jamie Hayter. We have Ruby Soho taking on the first AEW Women's World Champion, Riho. We got Red Velvet taking on Hikaru Shida. And we have Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on the Joker. Which, for both the men's and women's tournament, that does have me interested in seeing who the Joker's going to be. Because the Joker's going up against someone who is actually a favorite to win. For the women, the only person I could really think of, well, there's two I will consider for the women. Either Athena, which could happen. I mean, we did have that recent interview with her with Chris Van Vliet. I mean, again, I know she apparently does have other bookings to take care of, but you never know. It could be her. Or Taya Valkyrie. Probably one of the... I'm predicting one of those two. Either Athena or Taya Valkyrie. Anyone else, Britt's winning. But to have one of them come in and then get a big victory over Britt to start off with, cool with me. Unless, of course, it's someone outside them, then Britt wins. Because we were going to have Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. And if it was up to me, if the Joker is not someone, if the Joker's not someone like Athena or a Taya Valkyrie, I would say my pick to win the women's tournament is definitely Jamie Hayter. I'm sorry, not Jamie Hayter. Toni Storm. I think it should be Toni. Would be a good way to give a momentum boost to come in. For the men, the first round we have Rey Fenix versus Kyle O'Reilly. Adam Cole, Bay versus Dax Harwood. This match takes place next week. This is that Daredevil match. I think it was Mark who mentioned. Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin. Oh, God, that's going to be awesome. Two Daredevils going at it. That is going to be amazing. I look forward to that match for sure next week. This coming week. And then the person who's taking on the Joker, Samoa Joe. Which surprises me because with Samoa Joe just coming in, like Britt Baker against the Joker, I'm cool with that. Samoa Joe versus the Joker, though. Like, that match is either going to be protected with probably, like, Jay Lethal and his goons and Satnam Singh coming out to interfere. Like, I know some people are worried that Satnam Singh is going to be the Joker, which I definitely hope to God no. But it would also suck because most of the people that I could see possibly being the Joker, well, maybe except for one, could be, be a good person to get a victory over Samoa Joe without getting heel heat. Which that one person, maybe, that I'm going to predict, is maybe Miro. Miro definitely could be returning. I think he was injured, but I think then he was doing a movie also, I think, or something like that. So I could see him coming back and him getting since he's still a heel, him, getting a victory off of the distraction from Satnam Singh and Jay Lethal and Sonjay Dutt, whatever his name is, could be reasonable. I know some people said Johnny Gargano, which, I'd like to see Johnny in AEW, but I don't want him to be brought in as a heel. He needs to be brought in as a babyface. And him getting a win over Samoa Joe would be a little bit awkward, especially if it is based off of, someone cheating or whatnot. Then there's also, of course, Cesaro, which I think should not be brought in as a heel, because he's going to be, getting a big pop, because that's one person, as I keep saying, the most underutilized wrestler from the past decade, Cesaro. I don't even want to boo him. He's free, and people want to see him get the push he never got in WWE. So honestly, if I had to pick, I'm hoping it's Miro. Because, like I said, to me it would be dumb, because I said it would be dumb to bring in someone new just to have them lose in the first round of the tournament. So I kind of wish it wasn't Samoa Joe in the Joker spot, facing the Joker. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. After, of course, all this, we have Darby Allin Sting kind of promo. We're going to talk about what a special night Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin is going to be next week. Thunder Rosa then cuts a promo, going to tell her story. And then she starts with a success. Her AEW women's title reign talks about how she came to this company with no expectations but to elevate the division. She carried a lot of weight for a long time. She was able to become who she is today. She can say with confidence that she's the top competitor in the division and one of the best. And she wants to wrestle the best with the most experience. Which brings her to another story. Before she was Thunder Rosa, she drove 8 hours to see one wrestler and one wrestler only. This wrestler inspired her to become the best wrestler she could be, so she wants to call out the number one contender, which of course we felt was going to happen, Serena Deeb, who comes out and says it's been a long time and she's watched Thunder Rosa scratch and claw to the top and respects her. She truly believes they can make this best women's division in the world, but in order for that to happen, the best woman in the world has to be champion. Rosa then asks what she's saying, and Deeb admits that if she's a champion, that suggests that she's the best, but everyone's thinking it, and it's about time Serena became champion, which we're going to get the match at Double or Nothing, Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb, which I believe we already seen for the NWA women's title, when Thunder Rosa first came in, but it's been a while. Thunder Rosa is much more, developed. I'm for it. That'll be another good match on the card for sure. Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb. Then we also are hyped up saying that John Silver is going to be facing CM Punk next week in a match. And then we get to the main event. A nice surprise. But this match was for the undisputed ROH Women's Championship. Not sure what the whole story was behind, one person being the champ and then Mercedes Martinez being the interim champion, but it was Mercedes Martinez, the interim champ, taking on the champ. I think before this match, she was both Triple H and ROH Women's Champion, Deonna Purrazzo. And we all know how big of a fan I am of Deonna Purrazzo. And again, my girlfriend always tells me it's okay to have celebrity crushes, but we all know that I've had the biggest celebrity crush on Deonna Purrazzo for the longest time. And it was so good to see her in AEW. Now, at the beginning of the stream, why did I mention I was a little bummed out? Well, last night in Kentucky was the, I can't remember what the pay-per-view was called, but it was at the Impact had a pay-per-view in Kentucky last night. And she was there. Not only did she wrestle Taya Valkyrie, afterwards Mia Yim apparently appeared, and it looks like there's going to be a feud between her, Deonna, and Mia in Impact, which would be pretty cool. I don't watch Impact, but that does sound like a good match for sure. But apparently, afterwards, for $20, Deonna was signing autographs in her ring gear. And I'm like, damn it. I have the autographs. I still have the autograph photos that Joe got me for my birthday, but again, it would be nice to actually meet her in person. It would be nice. I haven't met a women's wrestler yet in person. But he told me that, and I'm like, dang it. But it was nice to see Deonna here on AEW. I mean, I know there was an interview she had before she came to Impact, like in between her NXT and Impact run, before she obviously had all the pieces of her life fall into place. I know she's, I think she said in an interview with Chris Van Vliet that, she was in school for, basically she's already preparing for life after wrestling. She, still looking to find a husband, which, she's engaged to Steve Macklin. I think they're getting married in less than 200 days, which congratulations to them. So I know that I feel like she mentioned she's not going to be wrestling too much longer because, she wants to be a mom. She already has, plans for her life after wrestling. But I would have really liked to have seen her have a run in AEW for sure. Because with how good she's doing, she did at Impact. And of course, she's going to be, I think, she's not signed to Ring of Honor yet. But if she would sign to Ring of Honor, we may see her in AEW also. But she could also be a very good piece too in AEW. I mean, she is good friends with Britt Baker. So why not? Her and Britt having the match one-on-one, awesome. Her and Toni Storm having the one-on-one match, awesome. They had those two actually did have a match in NXT UK, I remember, and it was freaking good. But she definitely, besides the fact that I think she's amazing, I think in the ring and just in general, I still would really like to see her have a run in AEW for sure on live TV, because she deserves some recognition on live TV that NXT didn't really give her, because they didn't really understand the character she was looking for. But she still got Mercedes Martinez, and look, the match was good, but the crowd wasn't really into it, unfortunately, which I feel bad, because both these women are excellent. They worked their butts off. And it was still a good match, but the crowd just wasn't too into it, which did hurt the match. Mercedes Martinez did win with a Dragon Sleeper submission, become the undisputed women's champion. Again, Deonna is not signed to the Ring of Honor, so no, it had to go with who is, and that is Mercedes Martinez. So awesome, because I do like Mercedes Martinez also. Of course, not as much as Deonna, but I like that they gave him the shot in the main event. I just wish the crowd would have given a little more of a crap about it. But so that's gonna do for Dynamite this week. Before we move forward, just a couple quick announcements. I am going to try to record one more quick video, because the pay-per-view starts in a little over an hour. But I am going to record one quick video. I'm by myself for Backlash. I did have some plans, but my friend was not able to do, and my friend's not able to get together in the end tonight for Backlash, which, they not really interested in the show either, which I totally get. Backlash is the completely skippable show. We'll talk about, of course, another stream, but I do want to do live reactions to Cody and Seth, because I didn't do them at WrestleMania. AJ and Edge, which, I know it's probably going to be just a setup for their Hell in a Cell match next month, but, it's AJ and Edge. And I'm going to do live reactions for the I Quit match also. And then, of course, this week, the only thing you probably expect from me this week is a Dynamite review, but I'm going to try to squeeze it in on Wednesday night. Starting Thursday until next Monday, I'm going away on a little bit of a small little, cabin trip with my girlfriend and some friends. It's going to be a big weekend for me. Can't explain why yet, but you'll find out, of course, when I get back. But I'm going to try to squeeze that in there. But let me just say, after this coming week, the channel's still going to be around, but my life's going to change after this weekend. That's all I'm going to say. Hopefully my girlfriend's not watching this, and I'm not, being spoiled, right? And then I'm not ruining anything already, but, we'll talk about that another time. But let's check the live chat before we go off the air here. I guess I'll watch, but only for the I Quit match and Seth versus Cody Rhodes. That's your choice, Mark. But I'm still mad Roman got the unification match canceled. We'll definitely talk about that whole booking thing that pissed a lot of people off, and I will explain why I've heard, but also how I agree that it's stupid that they're not doing a unification match either way now. But yes, that is one downside to WrestleMania Backlash. Can Roman Reigns relinquish one and keep one world championship? At this point, you might as well, based off of the fact that they're still trying to keep Raw and SmackDown separate. Punk may win the AEW World title. I do think it is possible, too, but I'm not 100%. I don't think it's as predictable, I feel like. So, yeah, that match, that main event of Double or Nothing is going to be very crazy to predict. I did address Miro. Saw a clip of Roman Reigns' shocking reaction on Twitter, which, yes, I did hear about Roman Reigns saying something about how he may not be back at where he was at for a house show recently, so that's interesting. We'll talk about that, of course, in the Backlash. And you think we'll see a Scorpio Sky face turn? Honestly, if him and Sammy keep wrestling, they may have to turn Scorpio Sky face. And I do like Scorpio Sky, for sure. And I'm glad he's getting another chance with the TNT title. So, we'll see for sure. And I'm glad they're finally giving the Men of the Year a little bit of a bone there. But I'm going to check out now, because I gotta do one last video I'm going to upload. It's going to be a short one. And then I'm also going to be preparing for my WrestleMania Backlash live reactions. I'm not going to review the show tonight. I'm going to probably have to wait till tomorrow, because I do have to get up earlier for work tomorrow, because I'm working a little bit of overtime for a couple days until something gets handled with at work. Just 4 days of work this week, because I do go on vacation starting Thursday night. But yeah, so I will again hopefully get that. Besides the live reactions, a Backlash review, and Dynamite review, going to try to squeeze in Wednesday night. Can't promise anything. That's also Survivor night. And then go from there. So guys, that is my AEW Dynamite live review. Talked a lot longer than I expected to. But thank you guys as always. Yeah, I'm going to record one quick video before I go downstairs to watch WrestleMania Backlash. And again, expect 3 live reactions tonight. Again, I'm thinking they're probably going to open... I think they should open up the show with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, Edge and AJ, and the I Quit match. Which I think that I Quit match should be the main event tonight, is what I'm thinking. But yep, that's all. That's it, guys. Also, one more quick thing I thought of. I'm not becoming completely addicted yet. But this past week, I did make 3 TikToks. I don't know, I had a couple of ideas. My girlfriend made me a TikTok one time just for the fun of it, but I never really actually posted. But then this week, I posted 3 TikTok videos. So, I don't know. I have the itch maybe to kind of use it as like a mini blurb for the channel, maybe. I don't know. But we'll see. But if you want to follow me, I'll be posting a couple TikToks whenever I do post more TikToks on my Twitter, which of course is TheManAirboy93. And you'll see my Twitter name as well, which I may change to more, if I do start using it more for the channel or something like that. I don't know. But just want to throw that out there. And of course, I forgot to mention I gave this show a B-. So that's my thoughts, guys. Again, make sure your thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video, subscribe for more content on my channel, follow me on Twitter at TheManAirboy93. I hope to see you guys tonight for my live reactions during WWE's WrestleMania Backlash 2022. So until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all soon. Have a great rest of your night. Hope you have a great start to your week as well. Peace out, everybody.
No